Hello, and welcome to this broadcast of Running on Love with God. My name's Lori Michelle, and I was awakened to the voice of our Creator, God Himself, in April of 2009. And He said, go get pen and paper, start writing this down. And I listened to Him and wrote many journals with my conversations with our Creator. And now, many years later, I live in Israel, and I'm broadcasting this program every week to share His wisdom and talk about topics to help us all learn how to get it right. I'm here in Israel, and my friend Anna Marie is in Chicago. Hi, Anna Marie. She's my co-host, and she asks great questions about the topics that we go into more deeply. And tonight's topic is about balance. And I posted a picture on Facebook about this program. The name of the program is How Slight is the Difference Between Good versus Evil? Caution, it's minuscule. And I posted this picture, and let me see if I can get it on the screen good for you. And it says, the slightest move the wrong way and you'll fall. Be steadfast and balance yourself with God. And that's the topic tonight, because when we bring God into our lives and follow His laws instead of man's laws or man's desires, we have a better shot at choosing correctly in every moment. It's not so cut and dry, and you would think that it's a no-brainer to choose goodness over evil. And most of us think we choose good all the time. But if you look around our world, we are in chaos. We are looking at nuclear war right around the corner. Truly, World War III, I am told, is in the next few years, and we're feeling the vibrations of it right now. So with that ominous news, I'm going to turn the floor over to you, Anna Marie, and talk about balance and how we should be able to choose correctly by using God and being steadfast with His laws.
The first thing I'd like you to talk a little bit more about is you said that the difference between choosing good versus evil can be infinitesimal. Can you give an example or talk a little bit more about that?
Yes. There are many qualities that the human being has. And for example, arrogance is a negative, but confidence is a positive. And the difference between being supremely confident and being pompous is just a little bit. You can cross the line. The difference between sharing important news with you about someone who's doing something malicious behind your back and you should know about it, the difference between alerting you and telling you something negative about someone in your life becoming evil speech and a warning, something that I'm supposed to do, is just a hair. You can cross that line very, very easily.
Now, in your first example, are you saying that arrogance is evil? I thought it was just a poor personality trait.
See, that's where we all have to become wiser and more astute. We have to become students of what's evil and what's just a personality trait. We all have personalities. We're all a fingerprint. We're all different from each other. And some of us are more confident naturally than another person. And you can be extremely confident and self-assured, and you could be insecure and have low self-esteem. And there's a range. But when you go too far one way or the other, you're choosing a negative behavior or the Yetzer Hara. You see, Hashem, God, He is supremely perfect in every human characteristic. He is supremely confident. He's God. And you could, when I speak with Him, and I do in plain everyday English, He exudes such self-assuredness. He's so strong. And when He says something, It's decisive. It's perfection. And that's where we work to achieve to be like him. Of course, we're not him. But when you've achieved something and you've gotten your college degree and you have your certificate and maybe you went to an Ivy League school, it's very good to feel good about yourself and confident. But to wear it on your sleeve and be pompous that you're better, that I'm smarter than you. Anna Marie, I went to Harvard. Of course, I didn't. I went to Harvard on the Hackensack, Fairleigh Dickinson University, nicknamed Harvard on the Hackensack or Fairly Ridiculous. But to think that you're better than someone else because you have a better degree or went to a different university is pompous. And it's wrong to lead with that. That's something that Hashem himself would never exude. He doesn't need to brag. He doesn't need to boast, but people do. And that's wrong. That's evil behavior.
You said that choosing between good and evil should be a no-brainer and it should be really easy. Why is it so difficult?
Very good question. Because that's why we're here. We're in my little video Q&A setting up for this program, I showed a slinky, right? The slinky is a balancing act. It's a spring. And in my video, I explained that we're born into a body. This is flesh and bone. But who we really are is a spirit. We're like Hashem. We're energy. We're non-physical. And when we're born incarnate in this body, our spirit's placed into this vessel, and there's a duality going on. And in every moment, we need to choose between our physical material world and our spirit. It's on purpose. It's a duality and it's a learning. And in every moment, we have a choice between choosing our goodness, our spirit, who we truly are, godliness, and physicality, separateness. The minute we're in a body, I'm separate than you. I have my own needs. I need to eat. I need an iPhone. I need a house. I need a pillow. I need things. So it becomes this incessant war between good versus evil. Do I choose to care more about Anna Marie, or do I worry about where my next meal's coming from? It's a little bit like the conversation I had to you in a previous program about love, leading outward, being true to ourself, our spirit. That's all taken care of. It doesn't require anything. But our body suddenly is separate. It needs to be fed and housed. It needs a car, although I don't have a car. It needs things. It needs shoes. And it needs love from a person. All of a sudden we have this separateness, this dilemma, this paradox between our spiritual self and our animal self. The animal soul is what it's called. And it brings into this whole introduction of something called the evil inclination, the Yetzer hara, which is the animal soul, and it opens a crevice, opening. Hashem calls it a chasm where evil can seep in. The Yetzer hara is an alternate voice from God himself. You see, Hashem is available, his goodness is available, his good voice is available, but there's also this negative voice called the Yetzer hara, and some people, it's a Hebrew term for the evil inclination. It also means Satan. And it's a real voice, and it works on you. So when you're hungry, the Yetzer hara will say, go ahead, go have a piece of pie. The good inclination will say, take care of your vessel. This is a gift from God. Have a piece of fruit. You see, I'm making fun, but that's really how it works. And in every moment, we have that duality and that choice. And the difference between choosing goodness and evil in every moment is on purpose. It gives us personal freedom to choose right from wrong. So we're not slaves to God.
A question that you asked in your intro was, why is there so much sin in our world?
He just said selfishness, egotism, lack of memory of who you are and where you come from, lack of knowledge, lack of education. People are unaware of this information that I'm sharing right now. There are very learned people, and there are people in this world who have this information, and it's being taught to very few. Most people have either walked away from this information, they don't want to know about it, or they simply are just unaware.
Another question you asked was, does every person recognize when they have sinned, or do most people think they always choose correctly? I don't think very many people think they're choosing sin.
No, they don't. And I even said in the introduction to this program that the terrorists think they're on the right side of God.
Mm-hmm.
They think that I live in Israel, they think the Israelis are the terrorists. And it's not so. I'm not saying that every Jewish person is perfect and never gets it wrong. What I'm saying is the country of Israel is not a terrorist state, but yet they're being framed by the terrorist organizations and the terrorist countries, the countries that sponsor terrorism, as the terrorists. So it seems to be chaos that no one seems to be able to understand good from evil. Everybody thinks they're good.
Right.
They're not. The hard thing to swallow that people don't want to hear from me, and I have to tell the truth because the truth will save us all, is the recognition that everyone right now, and I mean every person in the world, is getting something wrong. And if you shrug it off and say, well, hey, I'm only human, I'm not meant to be perfect, nobody's perfect, you're wrong. You're wrong because these are the end of days and he's holding us accountable. And whether you remember this or know this or not, we're all here to work harder and to wake up and get it right in every moment. And it can be done. We can choose goodness and God in every moment. It's possible. He assures me it's not only possible, he's requiring it from everyone.
So even with all the cultural influences that we have that encourage behavior that isn't necessarily exemplary, it's still possible?
It's absolutely possible. And if you're talking about the American way of life, which
Mm-hmm.
I lived, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and, I showed you a post on LinkedIn where a woman posted a picture, a lewd and disgusting picture of a woman sitting behind a laptop having fun looking at pornography. And she posted this picture and she asked the question, is pornography cheating? And she got hundreds of thumbs up and way to go and no, it's not. And it was an abomination in the eyes of God. So American society has lost its moral compass. And I'm American. I was raised in America and I did all those things. I am guilty as charged. And I'll tell you, I lived the rite of passage. I went to college. I did a lot of decadent things. And I'm here to say, there for the grace of God go I. If I had it all to do over again, I wish I knew then what I know now. It wasn't worth the price of entry. It's not the right way to raise your children. It really is wrong. It's harmful and it's a disgrace.
So those seem like easier things I mean, like obvious things like drugs that you realize it's not really the right thing and you can say no. But the smaller things, I think, are where it's much more difficult to figure out what the right thing to do is. How do you learn to discern the good in every moment?
You need to learn his laws, and he has many. You would be very surprised how much time you can spend learning about one subject matter, like um, there's a law about gluttony or taking care of guarding your health. You could probably spend a year and have an entire college course about guarding your health. Guarding your health means you shouldn't overeat, or you should drink a lot of water. There's many aspects to guarding your health. Here's a nuance that people don't realize. In Belgium, I just read they're going to outlaw the kosher slaughter of meat. They're going to it's actually going to, I believe, be in force in 2019, in just a year or two. And it goes against not only Jews, but Muslims who follow similar laws, dietary laws. They've decided in Belgium that it's inhumane because in the way you slaughter an animal when it's kosher is the animal's alive. There's a whole method, but these methods came from God himself, and they are humane. He knows more than us, but man in his infinite wisdom has decided that those laws are inhumane. They're not following God's laws. And so now they're trying to usurp God's laws and make it illegal to follow God's laws. And they're fighting it in Belgium. I just read this. So this is the nuance. With your eyes, if you're in body and you forget about your spirit, and God forbid you forget about God himself, you decide my law is better than God's laws. I know more about being humane to animals than God does. And I'm going to make a law that makes it illegal to follow God's law of kashrut, meaning how to slaughter the animal. And I think I read there's like 40,000 Jews who live in Belgium who won't be able to eat meat soon because of this.
And I can't imagine that there's really any humane way to slaughter an animal.
Well, see, now, okay. So now I'm pushing on your nerves.
Yeah.
You're vegan, right? Or vegetarian.
I like vegan food. That's what I say.
So let's talk about that. I was going to poke at you a little, Anna Marie. I love you, and you are off the charts great in Hashem's eyes, but you're getting some things wrong. And it's not against God's laws to be vegan or vegetarian. Okay, so you're not sinning an egregious sin that you're not eating meat. However, he desires us to eat meat. So showing faith in God means eating meat because he says it's good for us, and it's good. He's told me this. He desires me to eat meat occasionally. He says that the animals are placed here for us. They're here to serve us. And it's a commandment, it's a mitzvah, a good deed to follow his laws and eat meat and show faith that he placed those animals, and he said to us, you may eat the meat. So by eating the meat, you're showing supreme faith in God. You're not using your intellect to say, oh, that's inhumane, even though God said it's okay. Do you understand?
I think so. But it doesn't mean I have to do it, does it?
He's poking at you. He said, tell her no, but one day when I get you to eat a burger, we'll know you have arrived. So it's an elevation. You're elevating by eating the animal that he says is okay to eat. If you went and ate uh, pork loin, and I know you're Christian, it's against his law. I'm not telling you to go eat, bacon, but but if you ate a kosher burger, you're showing the ultimate faith in God, because he said, this is good, you can have this. You'll have to noodle on this a little and think about it, what I just said.
Yeah, and let's broaden this so it's not a personal attack any longer.
I'm not attacking you. I'm having fun with you. See, this could be fun. And I hope people don't feel, and I know the stuff that I say sounds harsh. I'm not beating people up, but I am. I'm revealing the truth, and the truth needs to be known. So I'm not beating you up. I'm just having a little fun with you. Because you have ideas. We all have ideas, and this is where we need to learn what the truth is.
That just because we think something is inhumane, that we are not the ultimate authority.
That's right. He's the authority, and he's real, and he's speaking to me, and I'm doing my very, very best to share that with you. He says, it's okay. You can have a piece of chicken, and you're not harming the animal. And if you follow the way that I prescribe that animal should be killed, it's humane. You're actually elevating that animal, and that animal is meeting and greeting its divine purpose. It's actually good. Believe it or not.
Okay.
It's true.
All right, so let's change the subject. Can you give other examples of ways that we can get better at deciding the difference between?
Yes. The way that we need to start to live in every moment, and I've said this before and I'll say it every week, we need to think in every moment. In every single moment, we need to discern. So every thought and every choice that we make, we need to examine. And as we learn how to use that behavior, you become more conditioned to think in every moment. I read a book when my children were small, and I was teaching them how to behave, right? And I bought this book. It was excellent. It was called How to Raise a Thinking Child. And the premise of the book was that as a parent, you can't be there with your child in every moment. So the child needs to learn how to think in every moment when you are absent from them. And that's where every human being has to go. And I'm not saying, God forbid, you think I'm saying something disparaging about you. You're a grown woman, you're an adult. What I'm saying is that we make choices sometimes and we're just not thinking. We're busy in our day, we're in a bad mood, and we choose not to be as pleasant in that moment as we could be because we're just not thinking. We're too busy, we're having a busy day. We need to not be like that. We need to be very thoughtful in every moment. If you're in the grocery store and you're pushing your cart and you're in a rush, you don't cut the person off in front of you. You be thoughtful. And most of the time, most people are thoughtful. But if we're not thoughtful for 10 seconds out of every hour, it adds up over the day, over the week, and over the month, and over the year.
You said the amount of sin that good and decent law-abiding people choose daily would shock everyone. Can you give us some examples? Because it seems to me like if you're a good and law-abiding person, that you're really not going to be sinning, and particularly not on a daily basis.
You can choose sin and not break the law. You can speak evil about your neighbor and harm them and harm their reputation, and you didn't do anything illegal. So when I say good law-abiding citizens break laws every minute of every day, it's the truth. We speak evil, we send a little email, we do a little hanky-panky, we add an extra dollar on our invoice that we really didn't deserve. Little things that are not illegal. You wouldn't go to jail for them, but you're harming someone and you get away with a lot of it. So you think you get away with it, but here's the warning. You get away with nothing. He knows everything. It's miraculous. I don't know how. He knows what you're thinking right now. He knows what your husband's up to right now. I have no idea. I mean, it's just amazing that he can be this involved in our conversation, and he knows what Donald Trump is up to right now. He knows everything. It's mind-boggling, and I don't even try to go there. But what I'm trying to warn you about is you think you get away with things, and you simply don't. And if you don't start exercising your free will to choose better in every moment, you're going to be humiliated when you leave this plane and you realize that you missed out on your job and your opportunity to make this world better than you found it. People think they're good, and they go to church, they go to synagogue, they go to the mosque, they go to wherever they go, whatever religion they are, or they're atheists. And I had an atheist woman once tell me, hey, you know, I'm a good woman. I don't kill bugs and I don't kill animals. I'm vegetarian. I'm good. I think I'm fine. And you know what? She's not fine. She breaks his laws all the time, all the time. And so how do you get it right? First of all, you need to know that he's real and he has laws, and you need to start studying them. In a time to come, Anna Marie, we are going to get together round the world and learn what he expects from us. You mentioned before, what about society where it's really a decadent society? We've sort of lost our way. And there's clear examples of people sinning left and right, people abusing drugs. Well, now marijuana is legal. He says it's against his law.
Okay.
So it looks like a mess, but it's really not that much of a mess, because he says there's hope. Sometimes I look around at the chaos around the world. Am I summing up now, or you have a
Yeah,
question?
you are summing it.
Okay. I look around the world and I see that today you told me there was a, what was it in
Air
Hawaii?
raid drill in Hawaii.
Air raid drill, because a maniacal dictator has decided to test ballistic missiles that can reach anywhere in the continental United States. So we're getting ready for war. This is the wake-up call. We're all getting it wrong. It's not just the maniacal dictator that's getting things wrong. It's the country of Belgium that's about to make it illegal for Jewish people and Muslims to slaughter animals the way God prescribed. We've forgotten his way, that he's real, that he has laws. And we're going to have to get it right. There's going to be louder thunder and lightning, and bombs are going to start flying, and people are going to start crying, is there such a thing as God? And there is. He's speaking to me. He speaks to all of us, but I hear him in plain English. And I hope that you all start listening and sharing this information. This information exists. I'm not the only one who knows about this. We need to listen, learn, and work for peace. So go to my website, lauriemichelle.net. There are many programs. We've spoken about many topics, and I'm here to help shed light. We need to reach for him. He's real, and it's going to get worse before it gets better, but he promises if you heed the call, we can bring peace to our world in our time. Please join the work of world peace. God bless you. May there be peace in our world in our time. God bless you.